What up guys, today is an Ask Me Anything episode, so you guys have left comments on the YouTube below. That's where we're getting these comments from, and we're going to answer your questions. So if you want to get your questions answered, just leave a comment and I will get to them. Let's dive in and answer some of these questions. First question, is Canada shipping coming soon? So for Santa Cruz Medicinals, because we sell those potent CBD formulas, probably not, but for Santa Cruz Paleo, definitely we'll get on Amazon Canada and we'll be able to get those Santa Cruz Paleo formulas to Canada probably in the next 3 to 4 months. Next question is, can you break down the ingredients in our electrolytes and how do you find a good electrolyte in general? So in our electrolytes, the most important ingredients we have in here are sea salt, which is going to give you a bunch of different electrolytes. Electrolytes are, there's tons of different types. There's magnesium, potassium, sodium. These are all types of electrolytes. We also add an additional dose of magnesium through magnesium glycinate, and we also add an additional dose of potassium through potassium chloride. Magnesium and potassium help with the muscle function. They're going to help your brain function. They help tons of stuff in the body. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic processes in the human body, so that's really going to help prevent against muscle cramping. That's the main ingredients in there. If you mix this with a good amount of water and drink that before and during your workout, you're gonna feel amazing. Okay, someone's asking what job should they get into as a young person? Like, what would I suggest? Honestly, the job that I did before I started all these companies was called outside sales, and I'd really recommend to people to get involved in sales if you like it. Sales is a really good career. I mean, you can make a lot of money, but also you're out and about, you're hustling. You have that sort of hunter mentality out there, and there's usually not someone like, on your ass every day, and you're oftentimes outside, like, going from place to place. So you can like stop and get a stretch. I would like pop into 24-hour fitness, hit a nice like 40-minute workout, then I'd be back on the road hitting my sales. So that's kind of a job where you're not like locked into a cubicle, so that's a really healthy thing to do. Next question is, do I recommend honey and maple syrup, specifically if you're on a diet trying to heal your skin? The answer is yes, but in small amounts. I think a lot of people go crazy with maple syrup and honey. It's sugar at the end of the day. So, if you're trying to heal your skin, what I'd recommend is maybe doing a small amount, like a tablespoon of honey in the evening. That's fine. I wouldn't go crazy with the honey or the maple syrup, but in small amounts, totally fine. The next question is Jersey Mike's, which is like a sandwich shop, a healthy place to eat when traveling? My answer is going to be no. You're not going to be able to go in there and get anything good without getting a big loaf of processed bread. And I know they use seed oils and all their stuff. It's really not a good option. I would go find like a good Mexican restaurant or find a Chipotle or an In-N-Out. Get that instead. Or you can just go to the grocery store, buy some food on your own and cook it up. Okay, the next question is, they're saying, Brendan, I'm vegetarian for religious reasons, so it's not something I can change. I have to be vegetarian. What can I do? What would you do? So that's a tough one. Man, I would, okay, let's just say I have to be vegetarian, which is crazy to even think about, but what would I do? I would definitely try to get enough protein. Okay, so if you're vegetarian, you can eat eggs. I mean, that is technically vegetarian because vegetarian says no animal flesh, so you can eat eggs. I would load up on the eggs. I'd probably be eating like 6 to 8 eggs per day to get that protein. And then I would find a good plant-based protein, and that is sort of an oxymoron. There really are no good plant-based proteins, but I would get one of those protein powders that's like pea protein or rice protein, and I would be making a shake with that. I would definitely look towards an algae source of omega-3s, even though they're really not good, but I would definitely be trying to take some of that. I would be taking a methylated B vitamin capsule because you're not going to be able to get those B vitamins from animal foods. And so yeah, those are some of the things I would do. I would get healthy fats from coconut oil, avocados, and yeah, it's going to be tough for you for sure, but those are some things I'd recommend. The next question is fruit on this type of diet. How much fruit should you really eat? Well, the answer is going to depend on your activity level. For most people, about 100 grams of fructose is like a good place to be if you're somewhat active. If you're really active, you can up that amount, but I wouldn't go above, 200, 300 grams of fructose unless you're talking, oh, I'm some marathon runner or I'm like working out like crazy. You might be able to stretch that out, but especially if you're trying to lose weight, I would lower the amount of fruit a little bit because you're going to have less of those carbohydrate, ebbs and flows, and it's going to make it easier, especially, when you're getting all those really good proteins. So that is what I'd recommend. Don't go crazy with the fruit. All right, the next question is about an animal-based diet for a teenager. What would I recommend? Well, first of all, I really wouldn't recommend an animal-based diet for a teenager. I don't eat a strict animal-based diet. I eat white rice, I eat sweet potato, I eat normal potatoes, I eat some veggies, so I'd really throw in some of those foods as well. What I would try to do is rely on meal prepping. So like in the morning or in the evening, actually, I would make like one of the recipes from my cookbook or something like that, where you're making like chicken thighs one night and you make like 7 chicken thighs and you eat that for dinner dinner, and then, you know, for lunch the next day, you're throwing in some chicken thighs, some white rice or sweet potatoes, and that's your lunch. So you really want to get on top of your meal prep stuff. You want to have a good protein powder. Obviously, I like our Santa Cruz Paleo grass-fed, grass-finished beef protein, but get any good simple protein powder, and you're definitely going to want to drink like a protein shake per day to hit your protein goal. But I definitely wouldn't do strict animal-based. I would throw in sweet potatoes. I would throw in white rice. You're going to want those carbohydrates. If you're a teenager, you should be active, working out. So that is really what I'd recommend. Another question about shipping our products worldwide. We're definitely going to work on that for the Santa Cruz Paleo stuff. I've seen some people in the UK and other areas get our products with a postal forwarder thing, but it's kind of expensive. I mean, you could look into that if you want. We do plan to get our products internationally in the next couple months. The next question is, what toothpaste do I use? I use a brand called Boca, and what that is it's called the Japanese version of fluoride, hydroxyapatite. And what this does is it helps remineralize your teeth, but it doesn't have any fluoride whatsoever. So that's been the toothpaste I've been using, and it works really well for me. The next question is how to reverse insulin resistance. So what you'd want to do is be able to get your HbA1c score down, which is like your blood sugar. And how do you do that? You want to hit your protein goal. That is the most important thing. If you start to eat a majority of your food from healthy sources of protein and healthy sources of fats, and then you throw in some basic stuff like a small amount of, potato or small amount of fruit, you are going to reverse your insulin resistance over time if you really stick to that. I would eliminate seed oils, I would lift weights, and that is going to help you reverse insulin resistance. Now, a lot of people just simply don't stick to this. They don't give themselves 30 or 60 days because it's hard. They go back to their cereal, they go back to their soda, and they stay insulin resistant, and it's just a really bad place to be. So the next question is about propylene glycol. What do I think of propylene glycol? It's in a lot of deodorants. It's in a lot of food, honestly. What do I think about this? So the FDA recognizes propylene glycol as generally recognized as safe. The reason I try to avoid it is there are some studies showing that it can potentially damage your kidneys and liver. Now, there's not, long-term human trials on propylene glycol. It's just not an ingredient that I want to rub onto my skin. There's also studies showing that it can cause some skin irritation in some folks. So based on all this type of stuff, I just sort of look at it like, why would I want to rub propylene glycol on my body every single day if I don't have to? If this were the only option or something, then okay, that's another thing, but it's not. We live in an area where you can buy different products that have different ingredients. And when propylene glycol is the first ingredient in my deodorant, I choose to not buy that product because I don't want to be a lab rat personally. So yeah. The next question is about barefoot shoes. Are barefoot shoes worth it? So I personally don't have a pair of Vivos or anything. I think barefoot shoes are awesome and they can definitely be good. I just keep a sort of minimalist shoe where my toes can spread out, and that's what I work out in, and then I spend a lot of time barefoot. Walking barefoot and strengthening your feet is totally valid, and if wearing barefoot shoes is a way for you to do that, then for sure get them, but they're not something you have to have. I spend most of my time barefoot, I work out barefoot a lot, and if I want to throw on some shoes to go to the gym, I think that's fine. The next question is about seasoning. What do I use to season all my food with? What do I think about it? So there are some studies showing paprika can damage the gut lining. That's definitely a seasoning I see a lot of people use a lot of, and you might want to watch out for that if you're using, trying to fix your gut and you're using a lot of paprika. I use garlic salt. I use different types of seasoning and herbs. One of the things you got to watch out for, what happens to a lot of seasonings, is you'll take this seasoning, you'll put it over your recipe that you're cooking over your pan, and steam gets into that container right there. You then shut it right there. Seasonings often get moldy. You want to make sure you're having good, high quality seasonings if you're going to use them. And yeah, if you're trying to fix your gut or you're dealing with some severe gut issues, I would try to just use salt for a little while. But right now, my gut's healthy. I use seasonings. Next question is, when does the chocolate protein restock? Hey, I got one right here, so I'm dialed in. But yeah, they want to know when is it going to be restocked. It's going to be restocked on the 17th of this month. So if you see that chocolate protein in stock, get it, because they do sell out quick. They're about $2 per serving. So a scoop of it's going to run you about $2, and it's a super high quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef isolate protein, and it's just delicious and nutritious. So yeah, try it out. The next question is about electrolyte flavors. What flavors can we create? What flavors should we create? Let me know in the comments below for sure. We're gonna try to make a watermelon one. I feel like that would be really, really good. We're coming out with orange soon, which I'm really excited about. And then, yeah, people were throwing out all types of suggestions. I think cherry was one where I was like, I think we might be able to do a cherry. So we're gonna work on some and I'll let you know. The next question is about soap. Like, what soap do I use in the house for my hands? And I honestly use the same soap as my body wash that I do for my hands. It's Dr. Bronner's. Big fan of Dr. Bronner's, no association with them whatsoever. But yeah, I use Dr. Bronner's hemp almond soap usually is the one that I like, or even the baby one. Like my girlfriend will sometimes buy the baby soap, but I like it. It's like fragrance free and everything. So that is what I use. The next question is, what is better, keto or paleo diet? What are my thoughts on that? I think overall a paleo diet would be a better diet. Keto, sometimes people do dirty keto, and I'm not a fan of long-term keto diets. I think carbohydrates have a lot of benefits to us, and you do want to integrate carbohydrates. I am a fan of short-term keto diets. When somebody's going to do keto for a few weeks, it's an amazing way to reset the body, and it also trains people that you don't need carbohydrates. So you can sort of go through that first week is kind of hard, but then you start to realize, wow, I can thrive off healthy fats and protein only, and then you can start to add in healthy sources of carbs back in. It's a good lesson, so I'm more of a fan of the paleo style of dieting than keto. Next question is, what about vitamin water, zero sugar? What do I think of this product? I've reviewed it in the store before. Guys, so many of these products are just water and artificial sweeteners, and they go, oh, they don't have sugar. It's not a healthy beverage at all. You're just drinking water, artificial sweeteners, and very cheap synthetic forms of vitamins. Not a fan of that. All right, the next question is, what should I do if I can't afford grass-fed beef? Well, the simple answer is just buy grain-fed beef. Try to get the highest quality beef that you can afford. It's still gonna be really nutrient dense, have a really good source of protein for you, good B vitamins. The only difference is gonna be the fatty acid composition. There's really not gonna be that much omega-3 in that beef, so you might wanna look into supplementing with omega-3 or just getting some like fish or sardines or something like that in your diet as well. But just eat beef. I eat grain-fed beef, not all the time, but I eat grain-fed beef sometimes. So it's not the end of the world. Just get what you can. It's a really good nutrient-dense source of protein. All right, guys, that is the Ask Me Anything for this week. Leave your comments below. We'll do another one next week. And as always, look up Santa Cruz Paleo on Amazon if you want to try any of our formulas out. And if you do try them out, leave a review for me. It helps the Bezos algorithm. You know how that guy is. And yeah, ask the questions below. I'll try to get to all of your questions. So just let me know, subscribe and share. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.